The situation of confidence is an up and down, it's a bubble. It's an up and down bubble. Sometimes it bursts, sometimes it's big, sometimes it's small. But the truth of the matter is it's a matter of how you choose to see it in the moments. And if you are more cognitively aware of how your brain processes, I promise you can get better control of it. And you can understand how to control it in a way that allows you to actually utilize it. This is what's called the self-mastery sequence. And this is a sequence of how our brain honestly processes all throughout the day. What I want to do is teach you how, if you see the flow of this, you can actually control it in a way that allows you to have a better base and gauge on moments that are difficult and how you can do the hard things when you need to then spin things up the right way. So at the very top of this is going to be what I call identity anchors. So what this is, I'm a guy that operates in identity. I want to get to the point where the things that are difficult, I do like their second nature. I call it rhythm. It's more of think about the daily operational rhythm. And I don't mean your routines. I mean the rhythm of how you flow. Now, we have a certain level of confidence, but there are certain moments that press and test this confidence. So it becomes difficult for us to press to the next tier, right? So at the very top, what ends up happening is you currently have an identity. If I asked you, hey, who are you? You tell me something. And you go to a part of your brain that says, I'm a mom, I'm a dad, I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, I'm a parent, I'm a brother, sister, cousin, I'm a manager, I'm a CEO, whatever it is. There's a part of you that says, this is who I am, right? It's built around confidence, usually from your past success. Now, there's also things you don't have confidence in. Part of those anchors may be hey, I'm not the greatest reader. I'm not the greatest writer. I'm not the greatest X, Y, or Z. And you've also created an identity around that. You've actually spoken things into existence in ways that probably shouldn't be, because the reality is when you speak something into existence, you will live in a way to make that right? So your identity is what you have in place. Now, this leads to the next piece, which goes to the right. And this is what we call our beliefs. Now, based on your identity, you have certain beliefs that are in line with this, and you operate from them daily without even realizing it. These beliefs were put in place a long time ago. There's a lot of different studies on this, but Erik Erikson has a study and a kind of a structure of the psychosocial aspects. And what he looks at is there's an area between the age of 18 to 21 where we have this issue between our role and our identity. It's actually called identity versus role confusion. And what ends up happening is you know who you are, but now your role in society becomes a little bit kind of distant because you're entering it now as an adult, right? I'm a kid, hang my parents, and all of a sudden I know who I am. Then I'm thrust into this world where I now have to operate as an autonomous human by myself, and I don't know who I am or where I fit and how this works. And what's crazy is we've already entered that world with certain beliefs based on who we are. Right. So this belief system, if I don't have a belief that I'm capable, that I'm strong, if I kick my kids out of the house at 18 and I haven't helped them have an identity of strong, confident, powerful, whatever it is, they'll go into that world with an identity that's weak and they'll be confused as they look at the world. And the problem is if nobody goes at any point in time and adjusts this or grows, growth day, right? I end up living this cycle the rest of my life. So you got to take a look at what are the beliefs that I have, the belief systems I have in place. And you have to actually take a look at what are they? What do you believe is possible for yourself or impossible for yourself? Now, beliefs go to another piece, which is very interesting. And we have these all the time. These are called our thoughts. And these bad boys run. They're always running. Mine are running right now because I can't see your faces. My thought is do they like this? Is this any good? I don't know. I'm talking really loud to my microphone. I hope they like it, right? There's a thought going all the time, right? And you guys have also the same kind of thoughts. There's conscious and subconscious thoughts. And these root from the beliefs. If we have a belief system that's out of whack and not controlled, we'll have thoughts that put us into depression, that put us in anxiety, they just take off and we can't control them. And you just because it's rooted in some belief system that I believe is who I am and I can't adjust it, right? So beliefs go to thoughts. Now thoughts, they create something unique that I wish we could control, but we can't always control it. And this is the area of emotions. Now emotions are very interesting because they happen. We have them. My wife has them and I can't control them. If anybody's married, it's hard to control the emotion of other human that's in your house. And I just have to control my emotions when she has her emotions in place doing her thing. And you get that if you're in a relationship or ever have been and you're human, you probably have, but you know what I mean, right? And what happens is unique in the area of when I have these thoughts, they feed and fuel my emotions. For example, if I'm in a situation where somebody cuts me off in a car, right, and I'm just driving, my thought is they don't like me, what bad people, my emotions get enraged and I freak out. These people, how can they cut me off, right? But what if I have a thought in my head that says they might be in a rush to get to somebody who needs help? different kind of emotion that would come from that thought, right? It's a complete different thing. And so what happens is if we have control of our thoughts a little bit more, we can actually have control of our emotions. And what happens from the emotions, these emotions lead to our actions. And the actions are interesting. So what happens here is I have found that whenever we have these moments in our life, typically our emotions fuel the actions, and actions are driven by the emotional aspect of how we feel in the moment. If I feel amazing, I'll take a bold, powerful, amazing action. If I don't, if I believe I'm not smart and I tell myself I'm not smart, my emotions are like, oh, a little detriment, like I feel bad. And then I take kind of a halfway action. This happens for us in life consistently. The emotions fuel the actions, and we all live in actions. Like no matter what it is, you have taken the action to be here right now, to hang out with me and Brendan and the rest of the crew. This is an action for improvement, right? You had an identity that said, look, I know who I am, but I want to be better. I believe I can be better. My thoughts are like, I'm going to go and take an advantage of this opportunity to actually be part of Growth Day. My emotions are like, yeah, I can't wait to get there. The action I took after that was like, let's do it. And I'm here, right? Your outcomes are the results of the actions you took based on the emotions, from the thoughts, from the beliefs, from the identity, right? And the outcomes could be good, could be bad, no matter what they are the result of the action you took. So if you take a great, amazing, bold action, great, amazing outcome, right? If you take a crappy, halfway action, usually crappy, halfway outcome. So if you're like, I tried to do it, Anthony, I really tried really hard to eat healthy. Well, did you really, right? Because at the end of the day, if you took the action properly, bold, strong, with discipline dialed in, the outcome is you're in better shape. If you kind of little bit do it, I cheat and I binge eat at 12 o'clock at night, well, the outcome's not going to be what you want it to be. If you kind of read the book, but you don't, really take the action of reading deeply and really understanding it, the outcome is, I don't know the information, right? Maybe you kind of decide to launch your podcast, a little bit of action, or you really do launch that, right? There's a lot of different areas where people don't realize an action has levels. You can boldly go and do that thing at beyond the space of what feels comfortable and have an amazing outcome, or have a halfway outcome. Now, the outcomes lead to something special and unique, which really is unique. It's going to be your environment. This is going to be internal and external. Now, the reason we have both of these because they give us feedback that lead over to our identity. And here's why. Whenever I look at the aspect of like my internal environments, if I have an amazing, powerful action I take, and then the outcome is amazing and powerful, my internal environment is like, oh, man, I feel great. Look at me. I'm cool. I'm doing great, right? If I take an action that's halfway and the outcome's halfway, well, then my internal environment's like, oh, man, that feels bad. Right. And on top of that, I create an external environment, right? If I'm joyous and happy and in a great mood, my external environment is I got great friends, part of a great community like GrowthDay. I get to go do cool, amazing things, right? And at the same capacity, maybe I make more money. Maybe I have more time, and maybe I have a better house and I take more trips, right? My external environment is better because of the action I took that had a better outcome, that it gives me a different environment of how I feel inside and what I see outside. And what you have environmentally, it creates your anchors.
This can be your day for personal growth. This can be that day you committed to and you remember and you go, that was the day I got myself a community. I got better coaches. I committed to making my life the absolute best that I could. This is that day. Make today your growth day. Click the button on this page and sign up right now.